all my busy bees currently doing the beekeeper's work. If you're looking for an easy way to make money in Sea of Thieves, there's no easier way than having others do it for you. But this gold-generating empire was not built overnight. Nay, my friends, the path to gold and glory was littered in hardship. Convincing every crew on the sea to unite under the banner of my alliance was no simple task. Some of them required a show of force, others a silver tongue, and some just weren't willing to listen at all. How much money did we end up making? You will find out very soon. But the reason I was trying to create the biggest money-making alliance in history was because this had been a very special occasion. Community Day. There is no better time to make some money than during this celebration. With a fixed 2 times multiply to everything we sell, this was as good a reason as any to recruit my busy bees. Though 2 of these bees were still asleep, so I decided to kick off the day with a standard commodity run, raising the flag of the Merchant Alliance to buy garbage and then sell it at a different outpost for a profit. Or as I like to call it, printing money. Birdie had awoken just before I finished, and lucky him, he was gonna get his share of gold for this run. With me only hitting up 3 outposts before selling my commodities, I was not expecting the biggest haul ever. However, thanks to the Community Day modifier, this 1-hour endeavor had granted me 220,000 gold pieces. Absolute peanuts compared to what we're gonna end up with at the end of the day, but for now, we decided to switch servers so that we could head out on a brigantine with Brandon finally having joined as well. Because I was expecting us to have to beat other crews into submission, we headed for the nearest seafort to gather some supplies. There are a few better ways to stock up your ship, though naturally I would not say no to the loot hidden within its vaults. Now, since commodity runs basically equal free money, there was no reason for us not to do it even while trying to build an alliance. And with the route I had established in my printing money episode, we'd be going all around the map anyway, giving us a decent chance to spot other ships. And wouldn't you know it, by the time we arrived at the second seafort, I'd spotted our first customer. Catching a brigantine can often prove to be a little difficult, so rather than heading straight towards them, we kept following our merchant route and waited for them to drop their anchor. With an ever-increasing pile of commodities and other pieces of loot, we saw an opportunity when they stationed themselves at Smuggler's Bay. I hurried on over and grabbed a white flare in an attempt to make our intentions known, but we had already entered the cannon range before it shot out.
Oh, they're trying to engage us in combat.
Well, wait. Let's see if they change their tune. They're not changing their tune. Well, I beat them into submission. It was as I had predicted. Certainly I would prefer to just roll up to every ship I can spot and recruit them peacefully, but believing it'd be that easy is nothing short of foolish. This crew was more than ready to defend their vessel. Not only were we a far cry from forming an alliance, we also had trouble just trying to come out victorious in this fight. This was the opposite of what we wanted. The more time we spend fighting, the less time we have to make money. This encounter had to end, and after several failed boarding attempts followed by many a wasted cannonball, I decided to change our plan of attack. I'm gonna try something here. Gentlemen, we wish to parley. Hold fire, I wish to parley. Hey, wait, don't shoot me, I'm just trying to talk. I explained to them that we're in the process of recruiting every ship on the server and that all of us would profit from it if they decided to join. Alternatively, we could continue fighting, but it seemed like we were evenly matched enough for them to consider the more lucrative option.
Sure.
Alright. Pleasure doing business. And as such, our empire found its humble beginning. We successfully recruited the first of many ships, giving us more leverage in negotiations going forward. A lot of lessons were taken away from that encounter. If we wanted to go about this in an efficient manner, we had to try and avoid fighting by any means necessary. With our next target in sight and a flare already having been shot, I dashed overboard to make my voice heard. Our ship kept sailing away as a sign of good faith, but as to his own admission, our friend over here had some trust issues. Agreeing to negotiate without me setting foot on his vessel and with a prospect of another Athena emissary already in the alliance, our friend over here slowly began changing his tune.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually.
Another bee had joined the hive. This community day was poised to become the greatest money farm yet. One could only hope that the other ships on the server were just as easily convinced. With our alliance being 3 ships strong, we already made for a dominant force on the sea, but better yet was the fact that this endeavor already began paying dividends. Once we had recruited every ship on the server, all of us would be reaping the benefits from our hostile takeover. For now, we continued on our route as we cleared every fort on the way whilst purchasing more commodities at different outposts. I sacrificed myself in order to one-shot the boss of this particular sea fort, and while I wasn't trying to bite the big one, arriving at the Ferry of the Damned revealed that there were indeed other crews around who were yet to join our alliance. You see, Essentially, every server on Sea of Thieves can hold up to 5 ships at any given time. It isn't guaranteed that 5 ships are actually present, but now knowing that there was at least one more, we decided to search for them. While we didn't find the crew that I spotted at the ferry, we did come across another merchant who, in true merchant fashion, prioritized profits above all else. This man was easily recruited without even trying, and with that, we only had a single crew to go. But even though our alliance was missing one member, we already had some successes to celebrate as one of our business partners began selling fish. Oh my god, they're selling fish! I just noticed!
Oh!
Hunter's Call reputation!
That's Hunter's Call Red on those mermaid gems.
Oh my god. As you might remember, the Hunter's Call is the grindiest reputation in the game, so making progress towards that passively on Community Day was a big win in my books. Though naturally, we came here to run commodities, so it was commodities that we purchased. Since the seaforts contributed to us leveling up our emissary flag, we had already been given a Merchant Alliance emissary crest at level 5, but it deviated so far from our route that we decided not to do it. We arrived at the last outpost before heading over to the Devil's Roar in order to sell, meaning we just sailed through about 80% of the map with that last ship nowhere to be seen. But it mattered not, for we were about to hugely contribute to our alliance once we got to Morrow's Peak. Though ironically enough, that last ship we were looking for ended up where we least expected to find it.
Oh, the other Athena's here!
Wait, what? Where?
It's on the other side!
Gentlemen, greetings. Hello.
I wish
to parlay. Can I have a second of your time?
Sir, please stop, please, sir. Oh, thank you. We are. Wait, why? Why are you doing this? Stop it. I wish to talk. Guys, come back around quick. They don't have food.
We're coming. We're already on it.
They harpooned and attacked me. They're not willing to join. Sir, I have the offer of a lifetime. Please don't attack me. Sir. Hello. No, don't attack me, please. Please, no, stop. I'm trying to make you money. Stop it, please.
Brandon, when we're broadside to them, go forward.
Hi, Birdie, I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put holes in them whenever you guys ask for it.
They're dead again. Alright, put some holes in them. Get them down. I had given them more than a fair chance to change their attitude, but these guys were adamant in their desire to fight us. It was apparent that they came to this outpost to stock up on supplies because they were completely out, meaning once Birdie started firing, their fate was all but sealed. Brandon and I kept them on the respawn train while their ship continued to take on water, but as we were fighting, something weird happened. That's it.
He said why. Maybe he's willing to talk now. I'm gonna keep his ship up.
Keep the ship up. As it turned out, these guys did not have voice chat enabled, meaning all the pleading I did prior to this went completely unnoticed. But once we explained our plan to them in text, they started to be a lot more cooperative. At the end, we did succeed in recruiting every single ship on the server. Once we had sold all of our commodities with absolute buttloads of money raining into our pockets, we raised the Athena emissary flag so that we could farm the Legend of the Veil together with our alliance. How much money did we end up making? Well, there were so many items being sold on the server that the selling notification was delayed by about 30 minutes, which was crazy enough in itself, though at the end of the day we collected a smooth 1.8 million gold on the back of our alliance. Obviously nothing interesting happened for the last few hours of our voyage since we recruited everybody, but if you want to see a Legend of the Veil voyage in action, I got an episode dedicated to exactly that. You can find the card on screen right now. But until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you want to see more, and definitely ring that bell icon to not miss out on my next upload. I hope you guys have a day filled with riches on the sea, and until next time, peace!